Hey guys, how's it going? This is the Power Gunner, and this is just going to be a video where I talk about some random ideas and stuff for Infamous Second Son. So I hope that you enjoy. The gameplay is just some random stuff that I was doing in Infamous 1. Some sort of like blast shard hunting and climbing stuff, pretty much. So yep, hope you enjoy that. Okay, so first thing on the list of random things that don't necessarily all fit one category in Second Son that I want to talk about is in the map of Seattle having different districts. Now, in Infamous 1 and 2, there has been different districts. There was 3 in the first game, which was the Neon District, the Warren, and the Historic District. And in the second game, there was the Red Light District, Ascension Parish, Flood Town, and there was the Gasworks. So in Seattle, I'm just kind of wondering what the districts are going to be, and I'm kind of guessing that what they've shown us so far in trailers and gameplays would be in the first district for the most part of it, at least. And for districts, I think they're going to have kind of groupings of real-life areas. I think this map's actually going to be bigger than Empire City or New Marais, just because they can on next-gen consoles, and because of things they've shown. Like, just for some examples, they have Seattle. I think that the actual area that is Seattle in the map is definitely smaller than actual Seattle. But then, I think they might also have Mercer Island. That is where I think Delsin lives in his house. They showed that in the E3 trailer, and in a few other places, that Delsin and Reggie live in a house that's kind of in a foresty area that isn't in Seattle. And they might let you go up into some mountains. I kind of doubt that, but that might be a small part of the map. And then there might also be something like you can go into Bellevue, which is a suburb of Seattle, and that's actually where Sucker Punch Productions is located. So maybe there's some like Easter egg where you can go find their building and stuff. I've actually looked it up on Google Maps before, so I know kind of where it is in Bellevue. It's in a sort of tall building. I don't know if it's necessarily a skyscraper, but it's pretty tall. Okay, one other thing is kind of free roam things or side missions. I'm sure that there's going to be quite a bit of fun things to do around the city of Seattle, but I think they're going to include more than in the past 2 games. There's probably going to be some little karma choice things that you can go and do, and some side missions, obviously. I think that they're definitely going to be adding more to do in the game. I'm not sure if it's going to be as much as like in a game like GTA 5 or something, because that game has a lot to do in it. But I think there's definitely going to be more things to do. And speaking of Seattle and things to do while not necessarily playing in a story mission, there was recently an article. I might link this in the description. This article was about an interview that someone had with Nate Fox. He was talking about how even when you leave certain areas of the map, then the like random NCP characters keep on like talking to each other, and things go on with them. They kind of have their own things going on, kind of like their little own side story type things have. Like it's not a big story, but just like, so I like went to the mall and I bought that new video game, Infamous Second Son. It was pretty good, yeah. Like stuff like that, and they kind of like have a life or something. From what I'm picking up on, that was what they're trying to say. I'm not going to set my expectations too high for something that would just be so cool in a free roam game, because I don't want to be disappointed, but that would be cool if they had that. One thing that has been resolved, that I talked about in one of my previous videos, is water damage. There is no water damage. One of Delsin's weaknesses is not water, so that's really cool, and that'll open up a lot of new options. One thing that I'm still kind of wondering about is fall damage. I doubt that they'd have fall damage in the game, just because they haven't before in any of the Infamous games, but then again, they didn't have no water damage in any of the Infamous games either. But also something that was pointed out to me was that there also wasn't fall damage in the Sly Cooper games. So maybe that's just something that Sucker Punch does. They just don't like to have fall damage in their games. So I'd personally rather there not be fall damage, but in the Fetch trailer we do see that Delsin and Fetch fall through the roof of a restaurant thing, and they seem to get knocked out when they fall, and then Delson is later woken up. I don't know if that's partially just because there was just kind of a boss fight with Fetch, and he was kind of tired from fighting her, and just falling was just that like extra thing that kind of just knocked him out, or if that was fall damage. But I still doubt that fall damage will be in the game. And I think that if they did have fall damage in the game, they should try to fit it in a good way that made sense and would still be good to the gameplay. Because I'm not sure if I'd really like that, to be honest, just because I like climbing tons of things and like jumping off and not dying. But even if there is fall damage, I think climbing things and jumping off would still be fun. But that's just my kind of opinion on it. Now, one other thing to talk about is Cole couldn't get in cars, and we know from the trailer from E3 for Second Son that Delson can get in cars. Now, one thing that seems kind of interesting with that is it is an open world game, and part of me wonders if you can like drive cars in this, but at the same time I also really doubt it, because then that kind of like you have superpowers and you can use them to get around the city fast. Like we've seen that with both Smoke and Neon, and just having cars as another way to get around the city seems like it kind of just doesn't make sense for the kind of game that it is. But at the same time, it might be kind of cool, but I really doubt that they have that. I just think that in some parts of the game that are story related, maybe even side missions, Delson can ride along in cars. Or that might just be before he gets superpowers, and who knows, maybe he can't be in cars when he has superpowers. So we'll kind of just have to wait to see on that, but it's an interesting idea. Now, two other things that kind of go along with like water damage and cars are two other things that Cole couldn't do that there's technically a possibility for Delson to do, but also just because it's an Infamous game and how the gameplay style is, I doubt they'd put these things in. But one possibility is that Delson could maybe use guns, because I don't see why not, but also I don't see why he would want to use a gun if he just can like shoot neon and like smoky fireballs at people. I just don't really see the point, but it could be possible. But again, I don't really think they'd put that in there. Then going inside of buildings, I think this would be a pretty cool thing. It looks like he can go inside of him and Reggie's house, but that might only be in cutscenes or something. Because there's really been no going indoors in the Infamous games, except for in Festival of Blood, where you could go into the underground catacombs, which is kind of like that. But your powers would be really restricted when you're in a kind of indoor and enclosed area. So I see how that could kind of subtract from the gameplay being as good, and why they would still not have that in the game. But it would bring a lot more options into it. Like maybe you can only go into buildings that have kind of a lot of room in them, like I don't know, maybe museums or something. But I think it's something that they could do in an Infamous game. I'm not sure if it would work out for the gameplay completely, but it might be kind of interesting, and who knows, maybe people would like it, but right now I doubt that they would do that. Now, one other thing to talk about is collectibles. There's usually two kinds of collectibles in Infamous games. Like, there's blast shards and dead drops. In Festival of Blood, there was the Canopic jars, if I'm even saying that right, and the Mary's Teachings, which are kind of like dead drops. So there's definitely going to be collectibles in this game. Just saying that right now. Don't know exactly what they will be. But in the Neon trailer, we did see something where Delson was floating with the Neon sort of floaty static thruster type power, and then there was a like black or gray object that was glowing blue and just kind of floating in the air. So I'm guessing that's one of the collectibles. I don't know what they'd be called though, and what kind of things we'll be seeing, but I think we will probably be seeing something similar to dead drops. We can find different recorded messages and play them back and stuff that might reveal a bit of secrets about the game. That's something that I actually think we might see something like that in the Cole's Legacy DLC. Might be something similar to that, but I think that they're going to do more of an epic thing, sort of like not too epic, like not like fighting the beast epic, I don't think, but like something where, okay, this is going nowhere, but hopefully you get what I mean. Okay, one other thing is cameras. I've noticed in different gameplays and stuff the DUP have cameras, and I'm wondering that further on in the story, once you are like wanted by the DUP and they know who you are, I wonder if when you walk by their cameras then it'll send a bunch of DUP out at you, because in the first gameplay that we saw from E3, they did have Delsin shooting and destroying some cameras, probably so that he wouldn't get noticed or something. So that might be something where we might have to play a stealthy role to get out of the way of cameras, or just destroy them all the time, which might get kind of old and annoying, but knowing Sucker Punch, I think they do it in a way where it wouldn't be that bad, because they're pretty good at making really enjoyable gameplay. One other thing that I've had interesting thoughts about that could be one of those fun random things to do in an open world game is, so Delsin is a graffiti artist, they have said that, so I'm kind of wondering if you can pick up cans of spray paint, like go up to walls and just paint some stuff on there, like just for fun. That might be kind of cool. Then one thing that I'm kind of wondering about the monorail train that they have in there, I'm kind of wondering if it'll just be like killing you a bunch, because that'd be kind of fun and funny if it did. But I'm kind of wondering if it can be stopped somehow, or somehow destroyed. But also I'm wondering like if you can destroy it, since I think most, if not all, of the destruction that you do to the city is like permanent for that certain saved game that you have of Second Son. I would hope that you'd still be able to, I don't know, use the train or something. So, I don't know. You probably even can't like blow up the train. One other thing that's random, because this is all random, that I want to talk about is something that they did in Infamous 1 but didn't do in Infamous 2, and I actually like this in Infamous 1 quite a bit, is with the story missions, you could play a lot of them in any order that you choose, to a point. Like, let's just say that you finished one story mission where you got a new power because you went in the sewer to do something. Then once you get out, there's like 3 story missions that you can do, and it doesn't matter what order you play them in, but they all get you ready for the next one. And I thought that was really cool, just being able to choose what you play next and stuff. So I'm kind of hoping to have that in Second Son, but if they don't, it's not a big issue. I just think that would be kind of cool if they did have that, because that's something that I like about the first game that wasn't in the second game. Alright, random thing number, I don't even know what number it is, but they have hinted at there being a cameo from certain characters from the past Infamous games. They've basically said in some interviews, I don't remember which Sucker Punch person said this and who was interviewing them, but I know that one of them has said previously, and there may just possibly be some cameos from characters from the first 2 games. So I'm pretty much thinking right there, that means yes, there will be definitely at least one cameo from characters in the previous games. And I actually made a list of all the characters in the Infamous games, and I came up with the only character at the end of the good ending of Infamous 2 that is 100% confirmed to still be alive is Zeke, which I would love to see Zeke be in the game. He'd be like a little bit older, but I'd like to see what kind of a role Zeke would play in the game. Maybe he's some sort of a mechanic or something. I have no clue, but Zeke was my favorite character in the first 2 games, so I definitely just love seeing him back in there. But also the 3 other characters who could be dead based on things in the comics or things with activating the RFI are Sasha, who in the comics I think she dies, but I'm going to make a video shortly, which might not be shortly, because I always say that, then I don't make the video shortly, talking about why I don't really think the comics, in my opinion, are canon in the Infamous universe, just for me. So, in my opinion, Sasha could still be alive. Same thing goes with Moya. She died in the comics, but I think she might still be alive. And if you have no idea what comics I'm talking about, there are some DC comics that fill in the gap in between inFAMOUS 1 and 2. And yeah, and then there's Alden, which had nothing to do with the comics as far as I know, but the RFI may have killed him, but we kind of don't know, because I think that the RFI obviously didn't kill all conduits, but I think that it must have had some sort of a random effect. Like, there are certain areas where it was more powerful in killing conduits and certain areas where it was less powerful. Like, one of those areas would be around Seattle, where Delson was, and so maybe one of those areas would also be, well, Empire City. Maybe Alden left Empire City. Like, I don't know, this is actually kind of interesting. I don't know if he left Empire City before the Beast came, because if he didn't, then the Beast probably killed him. So I don't really know what happened to Alden, but I have been wondering ever since I played the first game why Alden wasn't killed in the fight and why they had him get away. It's just never fully made sense to me. So maybe he's going to play a role in Second Son. That would be kind of cool. Like, if he got out of Empire City before the Beast came, and like if he was there while the Beast was there, then why didn't he fight back? So that kind of makes me think that he did leave, or somehow the First Sons were completely shut down and he was captured before that. But I want to see something with Alden. That might be kind of cool, because he's like a crazy old guy. And also, I'm just going to make this the last random thing for this video, is I don't know if UGC or user-generated content missions will be in this game, because to be honest, I didn't like them that much in inFAMOUS 2. Some were good, some were just kind of blah, and I would have rather kind of just played around in the game and not played UGC missions usually. But I did play a few of them, but I didn't play them that much. Like, I got them enough to get the platinum trophy and stuff, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. But it didn't make the game worse, because I just like didn't really play them. I just played the normal game for the most part. But I'm kind of wondering if they're going to do that. I kind of think they will. They're just going to add in some better stuff to make better missions, and you could probably put more things in the missions because it's on next-gen consoles. Like, there was this bar that would fill up to where it's like, oh, now you put too much stuff in the mission because the PS3 can't handle it or something. So that's probably going to be new. They're probably going to still have that. They're just going to make some changes to it. So yeah, thanks for watching this video of random stuff. I'll be making more. You can leave some suggestions to random things that I could talk about and my opinions on it in the comments below. And have a great day, guys.